Thinking about reading Atomic Habits by James Clear and want to know a little bit more about the book before you buy a copy for yourself? Well, check out this video. Hey, it's Charelle from PropelHer, the place for unashamedly ambitious women who want to achieve more success in their life. Each month in PropelHer's book club, we read a book to help women move forward in their life. And in July 2019, we read Atomic Habits by James Clear. Now, this book is all about the little changes you can make in your life. James opens up the book by talking about David Brailsford. Now, David Brailsford was one of the British cycling team coaches, and he came in after so many years of the team doing awful and had a really simple strategy. It was called marginal gains, and he basically wanted to identify everything he could possibly do to improve the environment by 1% to help the team to win. This went everything from looking at their diet, looking at the bikes, ensuring they got enough sleep, examining the pillows. Every single thing that contributed to the performance of that athlete, he examined and would try and find ways to improve. Now, all of these things some people thought were a waste of time. However, he absolutely transformed the cycling team. They went on to win Olympics, they won the Tour de France, and this was all because he broke down everything and just looked for the tiny changes you can make in life. Now, James uses this example because he wants us all to realise that success isn't something that happens overnight. It isn't that big moment. It actually is all the small things that combine. And this, as humans, is down to often to our habits. And we have two choices. We can have habits that are good and that are compounding for our benefit, or we can have habits that are bad and are compounding to our detriment. Now, through the book, James is going to lay out a law, or 4 laws in fact, that show you how you can start embodying new habits. The first law is to make it obvious. Now, when it comes to bad habits, we already have cues that are set up that we see and automatically react to. So when you're trying to make a new habit, this is what you need to do. You need to create a new cue that's going to force you to start doing the new habit. Now, this can sometimes be easier said than done. So one of the ways James says you can start to embody these new habits and set up an obvious cue is to attach it or stack it onto a habit you already have. So if you already have the habit of waking up every morning, brushing your teeth, like making your breakfast, leaving the house, all these things we do every day, you can start being like, when I leave the house, I do this. After I've brushed my teeth, I do this. This means that the cue, which is to start the habit, you're going to get reminded about often. And when it becomes about habits, the idea is repetition is key. Law number 2 is make it attractive. You have to make your new habit something you really want to do. And this is something where people struggle quite often because the habits we want to create are normally for our better, but aren't necessarily something we really want to do. One of the most common examples is when it comes to being healthier. Now, maybe you're trying to build a habit around your exercise, or maybe a habit around eating better food. Now, in both cases, you know that it's good for you, but it doesn't necessarily feel very attractive. And so James says you need to do something to make it attractive in order for it to last in the long term. And one way you can do that is by looking at the people around you. We are naturally programmed to want to be like the people we are around. Therefore, if you are in a circle of people that all have that habit, it is attractive to you to also have that habit because it helps you to fit in. This is why things like Weight Watchers, things like Alcoholics Anonymous, all those things work because it's the power of the group. So if there is something you want to do in your life, look and see if there is anyone else who's already doing it and join them. Law number 3 is to make it easy. Now, when it comes to forming a new habit, sometimes we really make it difficult for ourselves. We know it's going to be challenging, we know we're trying to reprogram our mind, and we don't help ourselves. We try and rely on willpower. Now, James says not to do this, but actually one of the best things you can do is to change your environment. By changing your environment, you can be making it easier for yourself. So for example, things like if you're trying to not eat rubbish, do not have it around you. If you know you want to be sitting down and typing for 3 hours a day your new book, make sure you have a clear workspace with your laptop ready to go every day. Maybe you want to do more yoga, leave your mat out. Basically, make it so that your environment is constantly reminding you of all the things you are trying to do. Don't make yourself have to work too hard. The fourth and final law is make it satisfying. We all like to be satisfied, and when it comes to a new habit, the whole thing of the reward is what we're all going for. So if you want to make a habit that lasts in the long term, you need to make it satisfying. Now, the problem is your brain, when it's thinking about new habits and it's thinking about your best, often can be thinking in the long term. And we know that if you put the hard work in now, it'll be worth it at the end. However, that's not how our body is made, basically. And most of the time we are searching for immediate gratification. So if you can start to add in some immediate gratification, even though there's also long-term gratification, you're going to be much more successful in keeping and forming that habit. Now you know the 4 laws that make the foundation of Atomic Habits. So I hope this has given you an idea into whether this is a book you would like to read or not. Overall, I really enjoyed reading Atomic Habits. It's a very simple principle, but it really does make sense. And also, as I discussed in PropelHer's book club, it really allowed everyone to find a practical way. Habits is something that's been discussed in lots of books, including lots of other books we've read in PropelHer's book club. But not very often do people really break it down. If you get this book and you follow the rules, you will form the new habits you want to read. As I mentioned at the beginning, Atomic Habits by James Clear was read as PropelHer's book club. PropelHer's book club is a non-fiction, women-only book club that focuses on reading books to help you achieve more in your life. We meet once a month, and if you would like to find out anything else about it, I'll put a link to it in the description box. And for now, I would love to know, are you going to give this book a go? And if not, at least let me know, what is one new habit you would like to form? Bye for now.